Good evening and welcome. Tonight we're diving deep into the heart of America, where a battle is raging over immigration. It's a story of families torn apart, dreams shattered, and a nation grappling with its identity. As of April 2025, the ground has shifted. We're seeing a surge of states taking immigration enforcement into their own hands, pushing the boundaries of what's legally and morally acceptable. From Florida to Texas, lawmakers are enacting stricter laws, emboldening local police to act as de facto immigration agents, and challenging the very fabric of our education system. These aren't just headlines, these are lives hanging in the balance. Families living in fear, children denied education, and a growing sense of uncertainty gripping immigrant communities. Over the next few minutes, we'll journey across 10 states on the front lines of this crackdown. We'll hear the voices of those directly impacted, examine the arguments fueling this movement, and ask the question, at what cost? Security? Our first stop takes us to the Sunshine State, where Governor Ron DeSantis has made cracking down on illegal immigration a cornerstone of his administration. Florida has enacted some of the toughest immigration laws in the country, criminalizing unauthorized entry, imposing the death penalty in certain cases, and pouring millions into bolstering enforcement. But it's the move to empower campus police to enforce federal immigration laws that sent shockwaves through Florida's universities. Student visas revoked, protests erupting over concerns of academic freedom. Is this the new normal in Florida? The chilling effect on academic discourse is undeniable. In Tennessee, a battle is being waged over a fundamental right, the right to an education. Lawmakers are pushing legislation that could deny undocumented children access to free public schools, directly challenging a landmark Supreme Court ruling. The proposed bills vary in their approach, but the underlying message is clear: to make it harder for undocumented children to get an education. Students, teachers, and advocates are fighting back, arguing that education should not be a privilege reserved for a select few. Texas has long been a flashpoint in the immigration debate. The state has doubled down on its hardline stance, empowering local law enforcement to arrest individuals suspected of being in the country illegally. The 287GG program, which deputizes local authorities to collaborate with ICE, has been expanded, and any city daring to offer sanctuary to undocumented immigrants faces the wrath of Texas lawmakers. The message is clear: fall in line or face the consequences, but at what cost to civil liberties? Chapter 4. Alabama, driving out immigrants. Alabama's taking a page from Florida's playbook, considering a ban on recognizing out-of-state driver's licenses issued to undocumented immigrants. It's a move critics say will make roads less safe as more people drive without proper licensing and insurance. But it doesn't stop there. Lawmakers are exploring stricter penalties for crimes committed by undocumented immigrants, and pushing for even greater cooperation between local law enforcement and ICE. It's a move that has many in the state worried about racial profiling and the erosion of trust in law enforcement. Chapter 5. Arkansas, no safe haven. In Arkansas, Senate Bill 426 is sending shockwaves through immigrant communities. This bill doesn't just increase penalties for undocumented immigrants who commit crimes, it effectively makes Arkansas one giant no-sanctuary zone. County sheriffs would be required to participate in the 287G program, turning local law enforcement into an arm of federal immigration enforcement. For many undocumented immigrants living in Arkansas, the message is clear: you are not welcome here. Chapter 6. Georgia, a familiar refrain. The Peach State is joining the chorus of states pushing for tougher immigration laws. Lawmakers are considering measures that would criminalize unauthorized entry and impose harsher penalties for certain crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. These measures are part of a broader push across the South to crack down on illegal immigration, a trend that's raising concerns about civil rights and due process. Chapter 7. Oklahoma, inventing crimes. Oklahoma is pushing the boundaries of what's legally permissible, creating its own deportation mechanisms, and even criminalizing the very act of being undocumented. These laws are currently tied up in court, facing legal challenges that could have national implications. But the message from Oklahoma lawmakers is clear: they are determined to make life as difficult as possible for undocumented immigrants, even if it means testing the limits of the law. Montana is joining a growing number of states considering a ban on recognizing driver's licenses issued to undocumented immigrants by other states. Proponents argue it's about upholding the rule of law, but critics say it's a discriminatory measure that will do little to address the complex issue of immigration. This move is raising concerns about profiling and discrimination, particularly for Latino communities. Even in New Hampshire, a state not traditionally known for its hardline stance on immigration, the winds of change are blowing. Lawmakers are considering measures similar to those in Montana and Alabama, restricting the use of driver's licenses by undocumented immigrants. It's a sign that the push for stricter immigration enforcement is gaining traction across the country. Our final stop takes us to Wyoming, where lawmakers are taking aim at special driver's licenses issued to undocumented immigrants. The goal to ban their recognition within the state. It's another example of states taking a more active, and some would say aggressive, role in immigration enforcement, often diverging from federal policies. As we've seen, the battle over immigration is being waged on many fronts, from courtrooms to classrooms, state houses to city streets. These states are testing the limits of the law, pushing for stricter enforcement, and sending a clear message to undocumented immigrants: you are not welcome. Proponents of these measures argue that they are necessary to protect citizens, uphold the rule of law, and deter illegal immigration. But critics argue that these measures are cruel, discriminatory, and counterproductive. They argue that these measures create a climate of fear, tear families apart, and damage the economy. The debate over immigration is complex, with no easy answers. But one thing is clear: this is a defining moment for America. The choices we make today will have profound consequences for generations to come. We must ask ourselves, what kind of nation do we want to be? A nation of walls and fear, or a nation of bridges and hope? The answer lies within each and every one of us.